It's now officially here, my swan song to this show. By the way, if any of you got that reference, then you're amazing and true fans of DBZA. Like I said, this is the final video of my 3-part series of top 10s on Teamfourstar's Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and my last video rinsing every idea I could come up with about this officially ended sensation of an internet series. We covered their 20 greatest quotes, and we've also ranked all their movies, specials and OVAs. So now it's time to cover the most controversial top 10 possible. The top 10 best episodes of Dragon Ball Z Abridged. And of course, real quick, we're going to have some episodes that didn't quite make the list. So honorable mentions go to every other episode of the show because they're all sexy. So with the trivialities now out of the way, let us begin. But first... Have you guys ever wanted some wavy looking anime t-shirts, hoodies or accessories? Well, the lads over at Kaioken Clothing will hook you up with the very best quality anime based streetwear. Check out the store in the description and use the code TELBY for 10% off your entire order and become a true fan of your favourite anime. First up, in the 10th spot, we have the first amazing episode they ever released, and that is the 3-part episode 10 as their finale for the Saiyan saga. Now, just like many fans, the death of TFS Nappa was one of the saddest moments of my life. However, to quote Cell,
"Enter Vegeta." Now, strap yourself in for this cartoon character.
Because they did a complete 180 degree on the calm and composed, with a slight temper, Vegeta, as we slowly saw how mentally unstable enough stupid could make the loudmouth Prince of all Saiyans.
Are you okay in there?
Yeah, I'm fan-f***ing-tastic. Nothing but gumdrops and ice cream in here.
Oh, really? Can I come in too?
I'm surrounded by idiots.
I thought you were surrounded by gumdrops and ice cream.
The way Teamfourstar used Yajirobe was amazing, and my favourite moment from this 3-parter was in fact...
You cut through my armor! This was a gift from my father!
I'm sorry, I'm sure your father was a great man.
I hated my father!
Oh, well then I'm sure your father was a total prick.
How dare you talk about my father like that!
Number 9 is going to be episode 20 because...
The name's Riku, and it rhymes with doom, and you're gonna be hurting all too soon!
Honestly, this is one of the single greatest character changes in this show, and making this all about wrestling was a brilliant touch, especially using Jason Butter's different accents to provide some interesting commentary. Of course, the highlight character of this episode has to be Riku, and honestly, after watching this episode, you'll never forget that name because he's astoundingly quotable. The Namek Saga was definitely when the show stepped up in serious quality, and so that's why they pulled out all their stops for their 20th episode. Now, while Riku was the highlight character of the episode, my favourite quote of the episode was actually
Na 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 Dende. Na 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 Dende. Dende.
Guru.
Dende.
Nails here.
No.
Number 8 is going to be episode 39, and I have a feeling that as this list continues, you're going to be seeing a bit of a trend with these next entries. Anyway, this was Teamfourstar's interpretation of the fight between Vegeta and Android 18. Arguably one of Vegeta's most embarrassing arse whoopings because she's constantly one-upping him in every way, whether it be physically or verbally.
So, Android, are you done running?
I don't know. Is your mouth?
Well, aren't you f***ing clever?
Now, our prideful Prince of all Saiyans loves talking smack, but TFS Vegeta takes that to a whole other level, and when Vegeta gets absolutely demolished, I can't help but find it funny as hell, especially because the whole time he tries to act like he's got everything under control. A great example of this being my favourite moment from the episode. But I also do want to give a mention to Yamcha's little idea of counting how long Goku screams for while he was thralling in pain. Now, as for my favourite quote from this episode...
Are you kidding me? I have her right where I want her!
Do you live in your own little world?
Yes, but unfortunately I have to share it with all of you.
Okay, up next at number 7 is going to be episode 46, the episode that debuted Teamfourstar's version of Piccolo vs Android 17. One of my all-time favourite Dragon Ball fights, in fact, because of how creative Toei were with the choreography. Now, TFS Android 17 is a great blend of cool, but with a heart of gold on the inside, being that he's so lost at that point in his life after it being robbed by Dr. Gero. Now, Goku stopping short, cutting to Piccolo and 17's fight was a great touch, because it gave him and Gohan a reason for actually being in the episode, especially with all them doing is sitting around and waiting. And also the subtle racism from Dr. Brief is always hilarious. Now while this moment from this episode was very close to being my favourite,
Hi.
Hi.
my favourite moment has to be the argument between the human characters.
Oh, don't you start.
Hey, I was on Namek, okay? Shit got crazy. I got stabbed and blown up.
I've been stabbed and blown up too, and dumped by the only girlfriend I ever had.
Same, but you know the difference? When mine left, she took all my money. When yours left, she took all her money.
Gonna need a sensu for that one.
Here at the 6th spot, we have a real backbreaker. Episode 52, in which commences the between the newly perfected Cell and Super Vegeta. We get some great Krillin fails, a very good Gohan Super Saiyan transformation, and of course, the main event. First of all, the emotion in that final flash rivals even the original because my god could I feel the anger in that attack. And of course, Cell saying "Oh shit!" a response will always bring a smile out of me every time I watch it. And don't forget, we end with the all too famous Spine Snapper that really put the zip on the prince's mouth, opening up Trunks to do the very stupid thing that we all know he ends up doing. Favorite quote is,
Why won't you die?
Prince, has this ever worked?
Number 5 is going to be episode 56, a filler episode, but a very interesting one mind you, because there's so much happening. We get to learn about Goku's sex life, we finally get introduced to the main man himself,
Mr. Satan!
witness an interview with Cell where he word for word recollects the entire story of Dragon Ball, mostly off screen. And we also get the return of Dende, as well as the resurrection of Shenron and the Dragon Balls. We also get Vegeta going crazy in the time chamber, and the reveal that Chi-Chi is now pregnant with a baby who has no future in this show. Now you'd think that's it, right? Well, you're sorely mistaken, because we also get a newly animated segment playing homage to the idea that 16 was modelled off Gero's son, and in the background at the end of the clip, we actually hear a Kid Goku charging up a Kamehameha, referring to Goku's attack on the Red Ribbon Army base, and implying that he was in fact the one who killed Gero's son, leading to Gero's main motivation for wanting Goku dead, and giving a lot more depth to both him and 16. Honestly, it was just beautiful. Now my favourite quote from this episode was,
So after I eat my Jimmy John's and drink my heater and my hot Asian wife, I'm gonna squash you like the bug you are.
Number 4, episode 50, because Vegeta beatdowns are just so damn entertaining to watch. Anyone see the trend yet? Well, when TFS are writing the script for Vegeta, especially when he's dominating, they give us some of the best bravado and prideful quotes in the show. Now upon rewatching this episode, the top comment brought light to an amazing reference they did.
Can I have a minute?
Sure you can.
Well, thank you. That's appreciated.
Honestly, if Christopher Sabat didn't exist, Lanny Pator is a perfect fit in the voice of Vegeta. He's got the perfect amount of tough arrogance, which blends really nicely when Vegeta is laying the absolute smackdown on Cell. Krillin was used very well in this episode, and Piccolo and Tien's interactions on the lookout are hilarious. In fact, one of my favourite DBZA quotes, check out this video in the description, is from these two. Now when it comes to my favourite moment, it had to be this one scene that gave me so many chills.
But if it makes you feel any better, I'll give you one free shot. But I'm warning you, if you waste it... you're gonna regret it.
Now in the bronze spot, we have episode 39. An episode that's just
pure, unadulterated
jokes. Again, the focus of this episode is Vegeta because this man is hands down the funniest character in DBZA. If you want more proof of this, check out my other DBZA videos and count how many Vegeta moments there are. The episode starts with Goku
currently handing the Pillsbury Doughbot its generous white ass.
And it brings up a great excuse for why Goku became sick, being the grape flavouring of the heart medicine. This leads to the eventual arrival of the primary threat himself, Vegeta, who, after a great Super Saiyan transformation, proceeds with the countdown for Android 19's self-destruct sequence, as they say. Best moment of this episode has to be...
So then, before I put down the clown, let's put it to bed, shall we? Do you feel fear, android?
No, please. Get away. Leave me alone.
All I needed to hear.
Just missing out on the top spot with Silver is going to be the 3-part episode 30, the finale to the Frieza saga. The characters that made these episodes have to be Masako X's Goku and Little Karibo's Frieza, whose character interactions are just brilliant.
Will you just piss off already?
I don't have to use the bathroom!
Now the first thing Goku says to Frieza, post becoming Super Saiyan, check out this video to know more, is my favourite line from this 3-parter, and watching Frieza get pissed at the last and final speech about Super Saiyans he'll ever have to endure is so satisfying. Every so often, they break away from the fight, developing the plan to restore everyone with the Dragon Balls, with all sorts of great jokes, especially with Shenron actually working for Mr. Popo.
Speak your wish and I shall... Oh, it is you, my master.
Frieza using pizza to make Goku let him power up to 100% and making a callback to that joke with the Destructo Disc is honestly ingenious writing, and Goku actually calling Frieza out on what a minute is, because it's clearly been way longer than 5 minutes, is a great call out to the biggest lie ever told in anime history. Now we all love Little Green.
My name is Dende.
Fine, whatever. Anyways, he obviously comes through with the clutch, and him secretly having a crush on Gohan. It's a very interesting idea they had. Oh, and how could I forget the resurrection of producer Nappa? Favorite moment is...
Stop that! Stop not dying! You think you're better than me? You're nothing but an overgrown monkey!
And you're nothing but an overgrown that thing Chi-Chi keeps in her drawer!
And finally, our all-time #1 episode of Dragon Ball Z Abridged is... it's episode 60. What else? What the hell, man? That's such a cop-out answer. You're so unoriginal. Alright, listen, yeah. Let's be honest. If it wasn't #1, I'd be getting grilled more in the comments. Like, just saying. Now, what else can I put in this spot? Without even realizing it, episode 60 was honestly the official final episode of the series, and we're not going to include the epilogue because that's just an extra thing. The episode was a great example of Gohan becoming the main character, just like the original Gohan vs Cell fight was meant to do. And in my personal opinion, even though I love the Buu saga more than most people, I can't deny the fact that if Dragon Ball Z ended at Gohan killing Cell and Goku being dead because of it, Dragon Ball would have been a near perfect series because it has done everything it needed to do. It gave all the major characters development, it gave Goku a good send-off, and the passing of the torch was the perfect way to end this show. Now while I am sad that DBZA won't continue, what Teamfourstar have built will forever be a proudly looked back on part of the Dragon Ball fandom. This episode was when Gohan became a man. Cell had the absolute greatest villain death ever.
The record shows I took the blows.
Great use of Frank Sinatra's My Way, by the way. And Goku's death still had all the weight it needed, even if it was even stupider DBZA Goku. Honestly, if DBZA had to end, I'm glad it was here, and in this way. Now when it comes to quotes, this episode doesn't actually feature any on my best DBZA quotes video, and that's because this episode was more about story than it was humour, and I was happy with that because it gave the series the best send-off as possible. But I do still have a favourite quote, and that is...
At first you had my curiosity, but now you have my erection.
You mean your attention?
You all know what I'm about.
And that, ladies, gentlemen, and those of unspecified gender, is that, my last ever video on Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I honestly can't believe it's been 12 years since episode 1 aired, and even though it's... I feel proud knowing that I was one of many lucky enough to enjoy this amazing series on the internet, waiting endlessly for the next episode to come out. I loved, I cried, and I laughed a lot. And for all they've done for us Dragon Ball fans while we were without new Dragon Ball for so long, I want to say Teamfourstar, thank you. You guys are an inspiration, and I wish you all the very best for your future. And remember, if you lot want some wavy looking anime t-shirts, hoodies, or accessories, be sure to check out Kaioken clothing in the link below using the code TELBY for 10% off. And be sure to follow my Instagram at DragonBallTC for daily Dragon Ball memes, updates, and if you want to talk to me, go right ahead. So once again, I appreciate you man taking your time to watch this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and bless.